A video to teach you a little bit about what we call Gantt charts and the software we're going to use, which is called Team Gantt. I have an example project up that I made quite a while ago that I want to show you. Then I'm going to show you how to sign up and how to edit a little bit. So this is just a sample project I use for my students. The project is the whole thing. And then this is the Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is a timeline broken down by task, milestones, topics, that is a visual representation of progress in a project. The purpose of it is that it helps you understand everything you have to do in sort of one space. It also allows you to communicate that with anybody who views your Gantt chart. So if you were to look at, say, this blue bar here, I would know whoever's project this in by the middle of October should be about halfway done with their sampling. So that's the purpose of a Gantt chart. It's to help you and to help anybody else who's involved with your project visually see what's going on. It takes a little bit of learning, but I think you'll get there, and most people end up kind of finding it a useful tool. So hopefully you'll get there too. So this is a sample project. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what you're looking at. Then I'm going to show you how to sign up, and then I'm going to show you how to start editing one of your own. So the idea here is we have a sample research project, just labeled Baskin Research Project, and I've broken the project into different components. First, I have to do a review of the literature. At some point, I have to start data collection, introduction, and so on and so forth. So those are the SMART goals for each one of these sections of the project, broken into, and they have a progress bar, and you can visualize how long they're supposed to take here. Additionally, on this portion, there's a calendar. You can see any particular date. You can also scroll down here to see what's coming up in the future with wherever you're at in your project. You can color code them how you like. We use bars to tell you, for example, this one is sequential. You can see that it's linked. So you can't start this next step until you finish this one. That's how this one is set up. There will be things like that in your project as well. For example, you can't really go out sampling until you have all of your materials. So that should be pretty self-evident. This one's color-coded. We have goals here, or tasks as the software calls them, which are these bars that span a certain period of time. So when you make your SMART goal time dependent, that's how you pick the dates that go in here. There's also milestones, which are single moments in time. You've already had those, like when you have a meeting. A meeting is a moment, not so much a task. So that's broken out and they're listed as diamonds. So this is what a sample Gantt chart could look like. To get to that point, you have to go to, and here's the website, Team, T-E-A-M, Gantt, Gantt.com. This will take you to a sign-in. You're going to sign in with, you're going to click create an account and sign in with your school account. It will take you to a project that has yet to be populated. Make sure when you're given the option, you always name your projects the same way I did and the same way your classmates, most of them have, most of them have shared them with me, but you'll see most people have named them with their last name. That makes it easier to anybody who's sharing them to look them up. So create an account, call it your last name and whatever topic you're working on right now for your review of the lit. So once you sign up, let me show you a little bit about how to navigate. So this is if you go to the Me pane, you'll see My Projects. You'll only have one project. It will probably look very similar to, let me go down to a test project somebody made. It will probably look like very little. You're going to have to go in and edit it. I don't have permission to edit this one, so I'm going to show you what it looks like on my larger one. So in my larger project, I've sort of got one area here I'm working on that I label topic selection. In order to learn this software, I'm actually going to ask you to go back in time and generate a Gantt chart for the entire review of the lit. And as you know, our review of the lit starts with topic selection. So in order to pick a topic, I don't know if you remember, but it should be in your notes, we had a couple different tasks. So to enter a task, I'm going to click task. I'm going to put in, we did, I don't know if you remember, we did brainstorming. And I can hit enter. Now I have an edit button. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's how you would assign someone else to do it. When I hover over it, I get this edit task. This is where you're going to change the date and completion. So let's say, I don't know, I think we started those in December. So I'm just going to make an imaginary date. You pick a date that coincides with your notes, And let's say it took us a week to complete. I'm also 100% done on that. Let's pretend for a moment that this was you're doing your senior research and this was something that you had to do with, say, a partner on data collection. You could assign people to do parts of it with you. Maybe you need them to go gather the profiling sticks. Well, you're going to get the data sheets. So you can assign those different parts to different people. By the way, this saves automatically. So if you just click out of this, it will now be in here. Oop. Let me double check this for 1 second. Oh, I picked 22. That's part of the problem. Oh, that's correct. Okay, so exit out of this, and you can't see this. Thank you. And we're going to exit out of this. If we scroll all the way into the future, to basically December of 2020, you'll see this. Now, this one is colored pink. You can change the color of any particular task you want to some preset ones if you find color coding useful to help you visualize. There were other tasks we did. Let's say we did mind mapping. And same idea, you would, thank you, when you hover over it again. Notice it defaulted to the same dates. We're going to change that slightly. Let's say we started that as soon as we finished brainstorming and it took 4 days. Click OK. Out of this. And so now we know that this, from this, you should be able to start brainstorming and then going to mind mapping. There's a couple other little things on here on this shortcut bar. You can get to the editing right from here. There's also these dots. We're going to get to it later on, but sometimes tasks are what we call dependent, where you can't start one until another one is done. Well, some things can happen concurrently. We use these connectors to denote when things are connected, when one needs to happen before another can begin. If you want to put in a milestone, you just click milestone. You can edit it the same way, change the color, change whatever. And if you're done with this, say you want to go to the next thing, which would be gathering your sources, you could add another group task and enable it source search. Let's just label it sources. And you can edit these as you move forward. So that's how you can kind of work the software. You don't need to save. It will save for you. Once you get your project started, before the end of the day today, please share it. So you would go to share and invite people. Please invite Mr. Cottrell and myself. Our emails are lbaskin@ctmc. His is jcottrell@ctmc. Just the first letter and last name. Invite us to your project so that we can look at this before we have any meetings. So that's how you will do share. If you have any questions or if you're struggling with the software, Mr. Cottrell can help you. If you're trying to do something and you forget how to do it or you can't figure it out, there's some really good videos which will show you adding tasks, using dependencies. There's a bunch in here. So, and then the overall understanding Gantt charts if you want to. So that's the basic information to get you started. So please take a stab at it.